So today I'm going to show you how to make one of these little, what I'm calling a modified Glovaphone device. And let me make a little noise and you can hear. Not difficult to make, made out of pipette tube, another pipette tube, an old scintillation vial that I picked up. All of those I picked up from Scrap, which is a place that resells material that nobody wants. I've got a piece of plastic on the end and a rubber band and some tape holding the membrane in place. Fairly simple to make. The material required to make this. Again, as I said, 2 pipette tubes, scintillation vial, rubber bands, and plastic to make the membrane. Right, the tools we're going to use are a block of wood to work on so we don't damage the table, a hacksaw, scissors, metal file to file the ends of the tube to make it, it needs to be fairly smooth, that way you get a good seal on the membrane. Some tape, we need a drill, 2 drill bits. Big one is 3/8 inch, the small one is 6/64. Scissors. So the first step we're going to do is take our pipette tube and cut the ends off. Next, we're going to cut the bottom off the bottle. Alright, then we're going to use our file to smooth off the edges. So these ends are nice and smooth. That'll form a nice seal on the membrane. This one's nice and smooth too. I forgot to cut the mouthpiece. Of course. All right. Next, we're going to measure the distance from the end of the tube, right, to where each hole is supposed to be drilled. I'm going to make it. So for marking our tube, I've actually got marked it on this little board so it's a little clearer. From one end of the tube, this is the end where the mouthpiece will be, you measure the full length and you take a percentage of it. 43% is where you mark the first hole, 50% the second hole, 58% the third, 68% the fourth, and 73% is the fifth, and 83% is the sixth hole. In my case, my tube is about 11 inches long, which means this first hole is at 4 3/16 of an inch. The next one is, as you can see, 5 7/16, 6 5/16, and so forth. Okay, so You take your little marker and mark them off. And then we drill holes in them. Take our drill over here. Take our 8/64 bit. And make sure to work on your block of wood so you don't make holes into the work surface. When you drill, you got to make sure not to go all the way through. You want to stop once you just make the outer shell hole, not to the second. So we have our holes drilled. Right, we need one more hole for the mouthpiece that'll go in this one. You don't want to get it too close to the top because we're going to put tape over here, so about closer to the bottom would be better. Okay, good. So the next hole we need to drill is a large one into the cap, and that's going to be using Alright, so our next step would be to attach the membrane over here. For that we take your piece of plastic, cut it a little smaller. Place it over the top like so. Keep it in place with a rubber band. And then I trim off the ends, so. And then to make sure that it's airtight seal, I take a piece of tape. Electrical tape would be better, but right now this is what I'm lying around. Some masking tape. Okay. And we can test it. So when you adjust this, you want to make sure that the tube is all the way to the end, but not so tight that the membrane can't vibrate. The oscillation of the membrane is what causes the sound. And once we've removed the little spongy stuff in there and mounted our mouthpiece. And there's our completed modified Glovaphone with the mouthpiece mounted. And as you can see, we have our holes drilled. So the hard part is adjusting it so that this tube is flush with the membrane, but the membrane is not so tight that it can't oscillate. In this case, I think I have it adjusted just about right. Let me blow on it and see what it sounds like.